Have you ever had one of those recipes where you take one bite and you are instantly transported back to your childhood? Well, for me, this is one of those recipes. So my father was Mexican, which means I'm half Mexican, and of course my grandmother was Mexican. And when I was growing up, every time we went to visit my grandmother, there would be huge platters full of tacos, as well as a huge pot of beans and a stack of tortillas about this high, homemade flour tortillas. Can't get any better. But of course, my grandmother used lard in pretty much all of her cooking. And I don't use lard. I'm a vegan, of course. So I wanted to veganize those tacos that I remember from my childhood. And it's really easy to do these days because there are so many beef substitutes. And of course, these are beef style tacos, and they're not exactly low calorie either because the taco shells are fried, but you really have to fry them in order to get that authentic flavor. And you might be thinking to yourself, they're tacos, how different could they be? But there's a special ingredient in these tacos that just make them so much better than anything I've had anywhere else. So if you want to see what that special ingredient is and how I put these tacos together to take me back to my childhood, let's get started right now.
So like every great recipe, we're going to start off by sauteing some onions. You can use white onions or yellow onions for this. I think I used white onions here because they are a bit more traditional. And I'm using these meatless crumbles from Simple Truth, but you could use Gardein or any other kind of ground beef alternative that you want. I just like the texture of this. It's a little more like real ground beef to me, and I like the flavor. So I'm just throwing that in the pan with the onions and just heating it through. And then we're going to spice it up. Now, I don't know exactly what spices my grandma used, but I have this taco seasoning that I made that is really good. I will leave the recipe for that in the description box below, but if you don't have all the spices on hand, you can use either a store-bought taco seasoning or just throw some cumin and chili powder in there and you're good to go. Okay, and then we've got some fresh toppings. I'm chopping up some romaine lettuce. My grandma always used iceberg lettuce, but I really don't care for iceberg lettuce these days, so romaine is a good substitute. I also chopped up some tomatoes and olives, and of course I had to put some on my fingers. Did you ever do this as a kid? We always had olives because my grandma worked at Oberti Olives from Madeira, and yeah, I'm a total nerd. But yeah, that aside, we're going to fry our tortillas now into taco shells. So I had some hot oil going on and I just throw my tortilla in there. Well, don't throw it, it might splash, but put my tortilla in there, fry it on one side for about 30 seconds, turn it over, and then start shaping it with your tongs. As it fries, it'll stiffen up and it will hold its taco shape. I usually do about 3 per person, but of course it depends on how many people you have and how hungry you are. And now for our secret ingredient. Vegan Parmesan. Of course, Grandma used real Parmesan, but there are some really good substitutes out there. You can get them at Natural Grocer or Whole Foods or Thrive Market. You can also make your own, but I prefer to just have somebody else make it. And what she did was rub Parmesan all over the insides and the outsides of the tortilla, and this is just magic. I can't tell you, if you've never had it like this before, it is so good. And Grandma never put any like cheddar cheese or anything like that in the tacos. It was just the Parmesan. So now we're just gonna fill up those wonderfully cheesy taco shells with our ground beef substitute. And then we're gonna put some toppings in there, and then we're gonna chow down. one last thing we can't forget, and that's the hot sauce. I mean, that is, if you like hot sauce, which I do. And my grandma used to make her own hot sauce from chilies that she grew herself, but I don't have any of that. And when I was a kid, I wouldn't eat it because I didn't like anything spicy, so I know I really missed out. But I do love this chili garlic sauce. It looks like her hot sauce, so I'm just gonna say that it tastes like her hot sauce. But any way you eat them, you are going to love these tacos. They're so good. So please give them a try. And if you do, leave me a comment and let me know what you thought. And leave a big thumbs up on this video down below. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And I will see you in the next video. Until then, peace, love, and tacos. Bye.